Hey everybody, Doug8798 here. This is my review slash rant on the Android and Cell sagas. Now I like the Cell saga, but just like everything else, just like Cinema Sin said, everything, no matter how good, no matter how bad, everything has sins. And there are various problems I have with the Cell Saga. But as you can see, the I put review in the title because, like I said, I do like this saga. There's a lot of things I liked about this saga, but but I also have a lot of problems. And the very first problem I have um, with this saga, of course, is the massive plot holes. The very first plot hole I have is in the Android saga, which was terrible. The Android saga with Dr. Gero, Android 19, 16, 17, 18 as bad guys was terrible. Now, later, when Cell showed up, Cell, he was the saving grace for this saga. Cell was the saving grace for this saga because he was the big, powerful villain this series needed. After Frieza, he was the next big, powerful villain. Before that, Toriyama, before Toriyama's editors told him to keep changing the villain and add Cell, Toriyama was gonna have Dr. Gero Android 19, 18, 17, and 16 as main villains. An old man, a fat clownish looking man, a guy with a scarf, a woman in a blue jacket and go-go boots, and Android 6 and a big giant robot. That was gonna be a threat to the Z fighters. That was the thing that was gonna eliminate and kill all the Z fighters. And I'm so happy his editor, I keep forgetting his name, but it's on Wikipedia. His editor told him to know add Cell. The first form, Imperfect Cell, yeah, that form was ugly, so they said so they gave him the ability to transform. His second form, I actually like his second form, but they deemed that too silly. And the best one of all time, Perfect Cell. Perfect Cell. Loved everything about Perfect Cell. His voice actors, all his voice actors. His Japanese voice actor was cool, probably the most menacing. I liked his English voice actor. I think his name is Damian Clark, and I love the Funimation track, Bruce Faulkner's track they have with Cell. Yeah, I don't like his Kai voice. That sounds like Plankton, but I'll talk more about that in another Dragon Ball Z Kai review. Kai Rant. Right here is the Android Buu Saga. So that's the first problem at was the plot hole. The plot hole I'm talking about are the androids. I hated how because this right here is what made the human characters like Yamcha and Tien. This made them irrelevant. You were trying to tell me that Android 20, Dr. Gero, a guy who has never trained a day in his life, can grab and suck energy out of Yamcha and immediately incapacitate him without Yamcha putting up much of a fight. Are you serious? And they can compete. Not only can they compete with the Z fighters, but they can compete and even batter a Super Saiyan. Goku with the heart virus turned should have easily destroyed Android 19. Should not even had to turn Super Saiyan. The android should not even been in the same league as Yamcha and Tien, let alone being able to fight a Super Saiyan. So Frieza, who is who is a galactic overlord and a space alien mutant hybrid, when he gets parts, he gets killed even faster than he did on Namek. When he gets human parts, when he gets metallic parts, but when when you equip a weak human, I could see if it was some kind of mutant or someone who was already powerful, and you multiplied that power. But you took Android 17 and 18, two ordinary humans, and gave them cybernetics, and all of a sudden they can battle a Super Saiyan. I also did not like how the characters in the show couldn't sense their energy. Who cares if they're cyborgs now? They were once human and they were given parts. So they should still have ki. You should still be able to sense them. like I said, stupid. And then biggest plot hole of all, if you want to go by the rules of this show, that somehow equipping human with cybernetics can make them more powerful than Super Saiyans. Trunks warned them of the androids, and Trunks is a Super Saiyan. So that immediately means he couldn't beat the androids even with Super Saiyan power. Yet Goku and Vegeta, without doing any sort of real training, fought him anywhere. Fought them anyway. Fought them anyway. Why didn't they train in the hyperbolic time chamber then? Why didn't they train then? Instead, no, they had this pointless battle. They had this pointless battle where they accomplished nothing except getting a bunch of people killed, and nearly getting yourselves killed. And if it had those androids been evil, the saga would have been over right there. Everyone except Gohan and Yamcha would have been slaughtered right there. All because of Goku and Vegeta's stupidity. Stupidity. Um, what's his name? And so, yeah, yeah. Like I said, first part was terrible, but once Cell showed up, it got good. The only problem I had with the Cell sagas was Vegeta. Vegeta, instead of killing Cell when he had the chance to, he foolishly he foolishly allowed Cell to absorb Android 18 and choose his perfect form. Thus, he is partially indirectly responsible. No, he is fully responsible because yeah, Krillin had the remote, but you could kill Android 18 by that point. She wasn't a threat by that point. Cell was. So Vegeta, what's his name? Vegeta let Cell become perfect, and Cell beats the living daylights out of Vegeta, beats the living daylights out of Vegeta, and here we go with the Cell games. And the Cell games were okay. Were okay. My only problem was Goku giving up against Cell. I hated that. First off, he didn't even tell Gohan that he might have to that Gohan would have to step in. That Gohan would have to step in. He didn't even tell Gohan that. He just threw Gohan in. He just threw Gohan to the wolves. I hated that, and I just hated him giving up against Cell, especially after the build up, especially the iconic scene where Goku comes to the aid of Tien and Piccolo, where he talked about making Cell pay for his crimes, and after all that fighting, he just decides to give it up when the um universe is at stake, and of course that led to Android 16's death. That led to Android 16's death. He should have just fought Cell and had it over had it over with. But yeah, but what is it? And of course we got Hercule. Remember as a child seeing Hercule and his students, and I remember wanting them to get brutally killed. And then Hercule, he's another bunch of plot holes. How is Hercule considered the strongest fighter in the world in that series when unlike in Dragon Ball Evolution and in Marvel and DC properties, um, the characters, Goku, Tien, and them, people know who they are. People know Goku was the one who liberated the world from Piccolo. People recognize Goku and Tien, Master Roshi, and Yamcha from the martial arts tournaments. So how come they didn't recognize them then, and how come they believe Hercule's bogus claims about the flying and the key stuff being being fake, being tricks, when in Dragon Ball those things were shown to be the real thing. Yeah, like I said, many so many plot holes in this saga. But like I said, this is my all-time favorite. The both of the Cell sagas, the Imperfect Cell saga, and of course, last but not least, the Cell games was awesome, and that was an awesome ending. And had Dragon Ball Z continued with this style instead of the style they would go to in the Buu saga, Dragon Ball would be an awesome series. It would be the best anime ever. It actually would be worthy of its title, the best anime ever, and probably the best series ever. But the next saga just ruins it. And then anything after the Buu saga, excluding GT, the only thing, in my opinion, only that was the only Dragon Ball series that was actually considered like good, which I'm going to be talking about much later. But right now, Cell Saga in the next Buu saga. But yeah. So this was my short this was my short rant. This was my short review and rant on the Cell Saga. This didn't take as long as I thought it would. I finished it in 10 minutes. Like I said, the first portion with the androids was absolutely terrible. You had robots, you had cyborg, you had ordinary humans equipped with cybernetics somehow being able to not only compete with the Z fighters, who were by this point all of them are god level, even Yamcha, because he trained with King Kai and Dr. Gero. I mean, King Kai and Kami, and even with their data, the androids don't have the characters training. The training under the train. They don't have their training. Therefore, since they don't have their training, they can't acquire their superhuman strength. So how are they a match for the Z fighters? How for a match for the Z fighters? And then I hated that because that shits on all of the previous villains we've seen. Now, and it also shits on real fighting, real martial arts fighting. So you're trying to tell me you can equip humans and they can have the power. They can have even stronger powers than Raditz, Nappa, Nappa, um, the Ginyu Force, Zarbon, um, Frieza, Frieza. Like I said, that just craps on every single villain. Then this right here made Tien and Yamcha. They were kind of starting to go down this road before this, but this right here is what made those two and all the human characters irrelevant, irrelevant. And then post Imperfect Cell Saga, Piccolo would be would become irrelevant. Will become irrelevant. But this made all the human characters irrelevant. That's why I was glad they added Cell. Glad they added Cell. He was the saving grace for this saga. So happy Toriyama's editor told him to add Cell. Toriyama was actually gonna have these androids be the bad guys. These were gonna be the people who actually killed and eliminated the Z fighters. Then there's also that plot hole in the future with Future Gohan. If Future Gohan is can beat one of the androids but can't beat them because they double team him, and he trained for 13 years, how did he not get to Super Saiyan? How did he not get to a level above Super Saiyan and been able to kill him? And then of course the plot hole. If it's a plot hole in the present, it's a plot hole. If it's a plot hole in the future. The fact that equipping humans with cybernetics makes them strong enough to beat the strong enough strong it makes them strong enough to beat the Z fighters, and not only beat them, kill them. So yeah, so like I said, Croc, but I actually like the Cell Saga. Now the next saga I talk about, the Majin Buu Saga, I don't like that saga one bit. All right, I'm done for now, people.